Alright, in this project I'm going to be replacing an air filter. It's a Space Guard Model 2200 air filter, which uses Honeywell air filter media. It uses this 201 replacement filter. Let's see what you're looking at. Okay, 201, which is a 20 by 24 by 4 inch replacement filter. And they say it lasts up to 12 months. I like to change it twice a year. Let's see, I'll go ahead and show how to do this, or how I do it, at least. Okay. What I'm going to do, and I've never seen what the Aprilaire version of this looks like, but I'd imagine it probably looks very similar. And I should also get a further away view so you can see that how this is oriented within the furnace setup. So here we have the top of the furnace, then we go through the, well, there's the top of the inlet, then we go through the air filter and then down into the furnace, and from the furnace we go through the heat exchanger, up through the evaporator for the air conditioning, and then out to the rest of the house in the ductwork. So this is the incoming ductwork over here. Above the air cleaner is the incoming ductwork, then the air filter, which filters the air and sends clean air through the furnace, through the air conditioning evaporator, and then through the rest of the house. Okay. So I'll go ahead and open this air cleaner so I can access the filter media. This side, looks like both sides actually open. I think I'm going to leave this side the way it is and just try pushing on this. Okay, so I'm separating. Let's see what you're looking at. Yeah, I think you'll be able, I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to separate this and just open this. In other words, this was catching on a little lip and this was catching on a little lip. So by separating it, this comes right out. I can set that aside. Notice that we have a downward pointing arrow, which again means the arrow shows the air flow. So again, we're coming in from the return air ducts, down through the filter media, and then towards the furnace to get sent out to the rest of the house. I'm going to zoom in on that arrow to make sure that I'm catching that arrow. Okay. So again, that's showing the airflow. Or we're coming down from the return air ductwork through the filter into the furnace and sending clean air through the furnace to get distributed to the rest of the house. Okay, so now to pull this filter media out, we've got these two little tabs here, which you can go ahead and pull, release, and then, not that you had to, I mean, it just makes it easier to pull the filter media out. So now I'm pulling out the filter media. Let's see what you're looking at. Okay. And this is where you would expect to see the dirtiness. The other side should still be clean because the dirty air goes through here. This filters it, and what's coming out here is clean air. So here you can see that we've got dirtiness, And over here, when I flip it, you should see that we've got more clean looking filter media. Okay, see how much cleaner that looks than this? Okay, I'm going to set this over here. Actually, let's slide it back in a little bit. And I'll change my camera angle. Okay, so I'm going to change my camera angle. So now this is the part that requires the most care. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these 5 combs. Okay, these 5 black things are called combs, and their function is to keep these pleats open so that air comes through and gets filtered by the pleats. Actually, the air is coming through the other way, but these combs help keep the pleats open so that you don't have, once I get the combs out, I'll be able to show better what you don't want to have and why the combs are important. So in order to remove the combs, I've got a screwdriver, and I'm going to use the screwdriver to gently pry. But this, I want to stress, this is the point where most people are going to encounter problems with this filter. If you're not gentle with these combs, you're going to break the combs, or you can break the comb. And then I haven't found a hardware store where you can pick these combs up. You would have to special order them, which means for a while you're going to be operating your furnace without the comb in place or without the comb functioning properly, if you choose to operate it at all. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my screwdriver, putting it beneath this comb where it latches, and I'm just gently twisting it so that it frees from where it's at. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So now the comb comes right out. I'm going to let you see what the comb looks like. Okay, and all these little teeth on the comb are fragile and can break, and I've never had them break. In the many years that I've been changing these, I've never had them break, but a lot of professional HVAC guys, which I'm not, have said that these things are a real pain in the butt because they can break. I've never had them break. Okay. Part of the reasons why I've never had them break is because I know that this is a weak link in the system, and I treat it very gently. Okay. So lifting that. You can see that the comb is quite intact. Let's just set it gently down. Now let me show you where those combs were going. Those combs are guided by these little notches. You can see that little notch right there. Okay, there's a centerpiece in here. In this little tube is a centerpiece in which the which goes into this groove here. Okay, I'll go ahead and remove the other 3. So I gently twisted first to one side and then to the other side. Gently twisting. Okay. Gently twisting in that direction. Gently twisting in this direction. Gently twisting like this, gently twisting like that. Gently twisting in one direction, then the other. Gently twisting in one direction, then the other, and out we go. Okay. See how much time is left on this. Okay. So now we have little flaps on the end of this that I'm going to undo. So I'll take the camera to show you the flaps. So we have a hinge, let's see, back out. We have a hinge down here and a flap up here that holds this unit in this position. I'm going to undo that flap. I'm pushing gently in that direction so I don't damage the tab. Okay. Come over to this tab and I'm gently pushing, I'm gently releasing the pressure with my thumb. I'm gently pushing in that direction. Snapping the flap, okay, and then that comes open. Now I don't worry about the dirt that's in here. I tried vacuuming it once and it's futile. It does nothing. The vast majority of the dirt got caught on the other side in this general region. This has almost always looked pretty much that dirty, and it will always look pretty much that dirty after you've been using it for a couple of years. We got the same kind of flap setup over here, same kind of hinge down at the bottom, hinge down here, and I'm gently pushing with my thumb so I can release this. Ordinarily I would have another hand free, but right now I'm using the camera. Okay. Getting sweat all over. So I'm gently pushing in that direction so that this will come free without excessive wear. All right. Now what I need to do is I need to free up this end, this long end, and I need to free up this end. And the way we do that is we gently lift this plastic piece. Okay. And we gently lift this plastic piece. Oh, before I finish that, what I wanted to show you, the function of the comb. Let's just pretend that we had air coming in this direction instead of from the other side. Let's just pretend that the air was actually going in this direction. What the tendency would be if you didn't have the combs is it would do something like this. And then you would defeat the purpose of, you know, the airflow would come through here, and maybe it might come through in here, but you'd be defeating the purpose of all these pleats. Let's see how many pleats we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Why did I count those? Well, today at Ace Hardware, when I was looking to see if replacement combs are offered at a hardware store, I noticed a 3M version of this Honeywell filter, and it only has 19 pleats, whereas this has, what was it, 38? I don't know that one is better than the other. All I know is that we haven't had problems using this system. So if you feel that this is too tedious, it's probably good for you to know that there is a 3M Filtrete replacement for this, but we've never had a problem with replacing, with using the Honeywell version of this filter system. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera now and then restart it because my camera only gives me 20 minutes of time. Okay, so I've restarted. And I'm going to finish unlocking this filter from its housing. So I'm going to gently lift up over here. And now, let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to take the tripod down. So that you get a better look at the sides. Okay, so I'm going to open these plastic things, which I've already released, so I can pull this cardboard out. The cardboard is held in by two lips. There's a lip here and a lip here. My left index finger and my right index finger are both pointing towards the lips that are holding this cardboard in place. So now I'll show you what the cardboard looks like. Okay. Here you can see the little cardboard latch or ledge. Where are we? That goes over. See this cardboard catch right here? That little ledge goes over these four little clips. One right there, one right there, one right there. Am I hitting it? Yes, there we go. There it is. And one right there. So that's what holds it in place. And now I'll do less talking, and I'll just let you watch. You know, you can just watch what it is I'm doing, because now that I've explained it, it should be fairly simple. And again, the dirty side was towards the ground. This is the dirty side. This is the cleaner side, but this is the old filter. Okay. Now I'll pull out the new filter. And again, it's a Honeywell 201 replacement filter. And you can see we've got this cardboard ledge here. Cardboard ledge. Okay. good. I'll go ahead and clip this. Over to the other side. I'm going to fold this in tightly. Get a better crease on it. Bring it over. Lock her into place. And I can clip this back into place. Okay. So now the next task is to get these combs back into place. I'm going to start with the center one. And each tooth gets one pleat, including this short tooth over here. And the short tooth over here gets one pleat. So one pleat. Part of the reason why I prefer to do this than to have, well, let's put it this way. Part of the reason why it costs so much to have a professional do this is how patient you have to be while you're getting the pleats put into place. The first one is always the most difficult. The first comb is always the most difficult and time consuming. But if you're under pressure, under time constraints, the way that most professionals are typically under time constraints, they may not have the patience that's required to not break these teeth. Here we can see that I've already goofed. They may not have the time to be as patient as they need to be to not break the teeth. And that's why so many professionals have said to me, or it's almost certainly the cause of why so many professionals have said to me that these things are a real pain, because they just don't have the time to be as patient with these as they need to be, especially if they're getting paid by the job and not by the hour. What I like to do is replace these before the professional comes out to inspect the furnace. And that way when he says, do you need a new filter? I can say, no, I just changed it. Damn it. We have an issue. I missed a pleat. So somewhere we have a doubled up pleat. Here it is, all the way over here. Son of a gun. All right, you can see how this would aggravate a professional who's under time constraints. The good news is, if I straighten this out right now, it'll be easier to put it back in place. The good news is the first one is always the most difficult. So the other four combs will be much quicker than this one. So now I have to undo all the way let's just start over again. I think you can see how the 3M version of this would be a lot quicker, but not necessarily better. see every pleat has its own tooth of the comb. Okay, good. Go ahead and find where the little latch is. Push it into place gently without breaking anything. Okay. Now, here's what I mean by everyone after this will be a lot easier. Because right here is already opened the right amount, if I start right here, all I have to do now is slide. Oops. Let's do it over here instead. Keep them in the same position. I can start right next to this one and work my way back, and it'll automatically put the pleats in the right position. Okay. So now I can start next to this one and just pull it into position, and all the pleats will be in the right position. Then we just kind of guesstimate this last section. We can close this. Now I'm simply latching those two latches that I had unlatched before. Okay. Still got plenty of time on the camera. So what I'm going to point out now is when I put these in place, when I had gone to put these in place, they weren't really holding well. They were kind of latching but not staying locked. But remember that the combs are going to help lock this in place. This part of the comb and this part of the comb and that part of the comb are all helping to lock this plastic in place so that that cardboard is also going to stay in place for the 6 months or 12 months that you have your filter in place. So now I'm putting this comb close to this comb so that all the pleats are already lined up for me. And then I can just drag it forward gently. Don't want to break the comb by dragging it too quickly. And lock it into place. Do the same thing with this one. Okay. Starting this comb close to this comb. Pull it forward. Lock it into place. And then kind of move these so that they're also in the right position, close to it. You can see why a professional would charge so much for spending so much time on this filter. But I think if you're careful and patient, you can see that it's not that difficult to do. All right, so now I'll go ahead and put this back into a position where it can pick up the installation of the unit. Okay, again, I'm going to want to change the arrow so that it's pointing downwards. Right now, the arrow has been pointing upwards. Okay, but I don't want that because the arrow should be the way that the air flows through the system. The air actually flows in this direction. Downward direction. my arrow pointing down. Zoom in on the downward pointing arrow. Okay. And again, the reason I'm doing that is to emphasize that we have airflow going from the return air ducts through the air filter down into the furnace, and then clean air is going into the furnace and through the rest of the house. I'll go ahead and put this back in place. All locked in place. And that's the project. That's it. I hope that was helpful. Bye.